Durant, Florida. Never did grow up much. I guess 100 years or so doesn't mean much everywhere. But a century ago, something happened here that would shake the foundations of the world. It was a little camp meeting here at the Pleasant Grove campground where A.J. Tomlinson was preaching. He was a preacher and the leader of a new movement of Pentecostal fire called the Church of God. A real zeal for the Lord burned across their lips, and I dare say straight from their hearts. There was a retired Methodist minister came to that camp meeting, a gentleman of over 60 years. R.M. Evans and his wife Ida sat in those meetings through the hot and humid spring nights and received a call from God to begin again, to take this gospel with the power of the Holy Spirit and go to the Bahamas. Several months later, during another Durant camp meeting, Edmund and Rebecca Barr, who were from the Bahamas, received the baptism of the Holy Spirit and also received a call to return home to preach this full gospel. Well, dare say the Barrs and the Evanses became close friends. They shared a vision, so much so that Brother Evans gave the Barrs the necessary monies to return to the Bahamas, with the promise to join together in ministry as soon as possible. Now, this was no small trip for these folks back then. Mostly mosquito-infested swamps and rut-filled wagon trails. In their little horse-drawn buggy, the Evanses and their adopted son traveled down to Miami, setting up camp and holding evangelistic meetings among the Native American Indians along the way. Once they got to Miami, Brother Evans sold his horse and used the money for a one-way passage to the Bahamas. Can you imagine the feeling these two families shared when they met each other once again in a new land, filled with faith? They swept across those islands like wildfire, singing and preaching with all their might and establishing a work that continues to this day. And this was only the beginning of Church of God World Missions, born in the heart of the men and women who carried it out on their own, people who couldn't deny what the Lord had called them to do, faithful servants of every race and every age who set out to change the world through the power of Pentecost. They would sacrifice everything, comfort and safety, money and leisure, and many of them, like our dear Brother Evans, died as paupers, completely spent in every way.